Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is just an episode about my experience at UFC 214. Man, so I did the post-fight rundown on the previous episode, and this episode's just strictly about my trip to UFC 214, the experience I had, great times I had. There's really no bad moments. Can't complain. Had such a great time, man. So I hit the road on Friday morning and make it in time for the weigh-ins. Actually got there earlier than I thought I needed to be because the DVR on my cable box said the weigh-in started at 5, but the email and UFC email said it starts at 4, and I get there, it's like, 3:30, 3:40 or something, and I'm freaking out. I get to my hotel room, and then I take a taxi to the Honda Center for the weigh-ins, and I see this huge line outside, and I'm like, oh man, what's going on, and I'm like, okay, it's getting closer to 4, and there's still a huge line out, so I'm like, okay, it must start at 5, and plus I saw the media crew still outside waiting to get in, and I was like, okay, so I guess 5 it is, so I'm here an hour earlier, and then I get inside, and then when I get inside I run into John Tuck. He's a UFC lightweight, and then run into who else did I run into at the weigh-ins? Oh man, I ran into one more. Who was it? At least one more. Can't think of his name right now, but yeah. Anyhow, so I run into a couple of UFC fighters, and I'm having a great time. And then I get to my seat, and I end up finding a good seat near on the left side, the far left side of where the fighters enter the weigh-ins. And I get a good view of everything, and I get some good pictures and some video footage, and I'll probably post some of this stuff on my Facebook and YouTube channel so you guys can see it. And wow. Yeah, so I'm at the weigh-ins, and I'm just like so stoked for this card. And then I watch all the fighters enter, and then I leave the venue, and then I'm like, well, I want to get something to eat and just relax a little bit, because I just drove here, and then pretty much it was go to the weigh-ins, and then so I'm looking for places to eat. So I go to this restaurant, end up at this restaurant, and not too far from the Honda Center, and I end up having lunch, and Matt Serra's there, and Aljamain Sterling's there, and Ray Longo's there, and I'll be posting these pictures on my Facebook, and they were all really cool guys, and I told Aljamain Sterling that I picked him on my fantasy, and that big fan of Matt Serra, and Ray Longo's a great coach, and he was super nice, and they're all nice and respectful, and couldn't been more awesome guys, and I got pictures of all of them, and had a few words, and then I ended up hanging out after that at the restaurant still, and having some more food, and then just I ended up debating some people at the bar about what sport has this type of fan base and this and that, and it was interesting, and that ended up going on for a while, and then I was like, okay, at that point it was like I was getting tired, it was nighttime, and I was like, you know what, I gotta go home. I gotta go to the hotel, the motel, or whatever you want to call it, and get some sleep for the fan village and the fights tomorrow. So then I go back to my room, get some sleep, and then I wake up, and I go to a Staples to try to develop some pictures. I wanted to get a Dana White picture developed, and if I ran a Dana White inside at the fights, have him autograph it. And it was his birthday that day too, so I got him a birthday card, but I never got around to giving it to him. And yeah, anyhow, still a great time. And then yeah, as I was headed to the Staples, before I went to the Fan Village the night of the morning of the fight, I see that Second Base, the sports bar that was on the TV show Bar Rescue, is right there. And so I'm like, okay, on the way back to my room, before I go back to my room, I want to get a bite to eat, so I'm going to go to Second Base and get some food there. So I'm not able to get the pictures developed at the Staples, and so I head back, and then I stop by Second Base, and then talk to a couple people that were on that episode. There's a cute waitress there that, she was on the episode, and then one of the, I guess, opener guys, opening crew member guys, he was on the episode, and he's really nice, and we were talking for a while. And then I had a Philly cheesesteak and a soda, and then headed back to my room to change and get all the stuff I was going to bring with me to the fights. And then I take a lift, go to the Fan Village, and then I thought that I was going to meet Cynthia Cavillo and Anthony Johnson at the Fan Village, but they changed up the lineup, because all the other fighters at the Fan Village I've already met, except for Cynthia Cavillo and Anthony Johnson. But they ended up changing it up, where Luke Rockhold, just for whatever reason, couldn't make it. And then Kat Zingano and Felice Harry took his spot. And I already met Felice Harry. She's a great lady. But I never met Kat Zingano. So I was like, okay, after Cynthia Cavillo, because her line was yay big, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to meet Cynthia Cavillo, and then I'm going to go meet Kat Zingano. And then, so, get a picture with Cynthia Cavillo, and then I go to the Kat Zingano line. And then what happens is, I'm the last guy they're allowing into the line, and the security guard is like, okay, I'm going to let you in, but you have to tell people that they can't be in this line. So he's like, I'm counting on you. And so all these people kept coming up behind me in the line, and I'm like, oh, the line was cut off. The new line starts over there for Paige Van Zandt, who I already met. So that, I was sort of, whatever about that. I mean, I already met her, and she's a great person. But I want to meet people I haven't met yet, at the Fan Village. So I keep directing people to this other line that's going to start when Paige gets to take over for the time slot after Kat and Felice leave. And then Kat, I eventually, get to meet Kat Zingano. She was really awesome. Got a picture with her. And then I tried to get into the Anthony Johnson line, but it was like, by that point it was a really long line, and I could have waited probably like 30-40 minutes longer, but then I would have been cutting it super close to get in to be on time for the first prelim fight at 2:14. So I was like, I gotta cut it off here, because I don't want to be late for the first fight. The first fight being Josh Berkman and Drew Dober. That ended up being a great fight, great knockout win for Drew Dober. Anyhow, so I go inside, and then I run into Arthur Jones in the mix, and then John Jones' brother, who played for the Colts in the NFL, and I say hi to John Jones' dad, and then that was like in the middle of the event. But yeah, I get to my seat, and I'm just like ecstatic, and I take some pictures, and I'm hanging out with the fans, and then I meet some fans I've met previously at other trips, because like us Fight Clubbers, we tend to kind of stick together and know each other over the years, and it's a lot of fun. And then I watch the fights, and then in the mix I meet Wilson Hayes and Colby Northcutt, not Sage Northcutt, but Colby Northcutt, Sage's sister, and get a picture with her, and she's like, "What, you want a picture with me?" She was like flattered, and I was like, dude, I'm like a fan of both you and your brother, being a proud Texan, and keep up, basically I'm just like, you're a good fighter, and basically, we'll see you in the UFC at some point, I'm sure. And then yeah, like in the mix, Danny Castillo walks by and I ask if he could autograph my program. I'm not the biggest fan of autographs, um, but I was like, you know what, I got this Sharpie, might as well put it to use. And yeah, so he autographed my program, even though he wasn't on the card. Just, he's a UFC fighter, and I was like, well, might as well get some autograph, right? So Dan Castillo autographs it, and have a few words with him. He's always cool. I've met him previously, and then I get another picture of Joseph Benavidez, and then meet Sean Shelby again, and then I meet Patrick Cummins was awesome. He was awesome. He made a funny face in the picture. I don't know if it's a funny face or that's just how he is, But nonetheless, it is what it is. And then when I run to the bathroom in between fights, I run into before I get to the bathroom, I run to CB Dalloway and I have a few words with him. We were talking about Ryan Bader's career and the Arizona State guys, and I get a picture of them, and he's really cool. And then I go. Let's see. When I get back, who else did I meet? I met. Oh man. Oh yeah. So Ricardo Lamas wins his fight, and as he's leaving the cage, I ask him for a picture, and he poses for the picture, and the picture turns out. And then my cousin Jared in Minnesota sends me a multimedia message, basically like, dude, you're on TV, and he shows me the clip, and I'm just like, dang, I'm on TV, and I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was on FXX, and where they were showing the televised prelim portion, and I was like, dang, this is crazy. You see me for like a brief couple seconds, and I was like, no way, that's so cool. And yeah, Ricardo Lamas was nice, and he fought Jason Knight that night, and Jason Knight's really cool too. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And wow, so then the pay-per-view main card starts, and then Volkan Ozdemir gets that quick finish, and then I'm just like, man, this card's off to a bang. And then Robbie Lawler and Cerrone go up, and then I was on Team Lawler, I guess you could call it, and I was like, go Robbie, and then there would be shout outs, go Cowboy, and then go Robbie, go Cowboy type chants. And I'm a fan of both, but I preferred Robbie to win this one. And yeah, just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then Robbie gets a decision. I'm like jumping up, screaming. And then Cyborg comes out for the vacant featherweight title against Tanya Evinger. And that fight was just, it was a one-sided match, but it was exciting because you had Evinger with heart, and then you had Cyborg going in for the kill, trying to get that finish. And it was just, man, Evinger will not give up. And I got to respect that. Like there's times in my life where it's like, people are like, why don't you just quit? And I'm like, no, I can't quit. And so I can relate to that, and I can respect that. Even if you don't win sometimes, it's that you didn't give up. And Evinger, Tanya did not give up, and I got to give her mad props for that. And Cyborg did her thing and got the third round knockout win. And I was all excited for that. And then Woodley and Maya come out. I'm excited for that one. And then the crowd was booing, and then everyone was like, wow, no way this is happening. This fight's horrible. But then if you watch my pre-fight show, I kind of said it would be something along these lines where it ended in a decision where Woodley would avoid grappling, and he would just jab and run away, because what else can you do against a guy like Maya? I mean, that's the smartest game plan, in my opinion. It may not be the most exciting, but it is what it is, and it'll get you the win. And then the main event starts, and then I'm all like screaming, for John Jones, and then he fights DC, and then the guy next to me is rooting for DC, and then we're at this point, me and him, we're just chatting throughout the day, and he was a cool guy, and then yeah, John Jones gets a third round knockout, and then I'm like, yeah, we did it, man, we did it, and I'm all screaming, and I filmed myself next to the cage with John Jones doing a speech. And then I was just like livid, I was like, I could not believe I'm here. John Jones, the new UFC light heavyweight champion, technically his third title reign, because he won against Shogun, and then he won the interim belt against OSP, and then he won this belt against DC, so 3-time UFC light heavyweight champ, and with multiple title defenses in the first reign. And so that was amazing. And then after that, I go out, I meet some more fighters in the mix. I met Tiki, who, he's one of the head trainers for Quinton Jackson, Rampage Jackson, for several years, and he fought in the UFC. And then I met Ashley Evans Smith when I was leaving the Honda Center. I tried to get a picture with her in my section, but she was like kind of a distance in her section, and it was just hard to like get her attention. And then, but yeah, like when I was leaving, I ran into her and I was like, "Can I get a quick picture?" She's like, "Sure." And she was really nice. She posed for the picture, and it turned out to be a great picture. And then let's see, who else did I meet in the mix? Oh yeah, I met Forrest Griffin right after the Jones victory. I already met him, but why not get another picture? He's Forrest Griffin. Why not? He's a nice guy. And then let's see. After all the stuff at the Honda Center, I hit up some sports bars to see if there's anything going on, and there wasn't much going on. And then I take a Lyft ride to the hotel where the fighters are at, thinking maybe there's something going on over there, and there wasn't much going on there. And then what happens is I run into Curran. She was awesome. Kaylin Curran. She was really nice. I got a picture with her, meet her training staff, and then I meet Jason Knight and asked for a picture, and he was super cool. And then I asked him if there's any place to eat around here, and then he said, yeah, there's a TGI Fridays across the street. I'm gonna go hit it up in a little bit. And I was like, mind if I join you? He's like, sure. And so I go over to the TGI Fridays shortly after he does, and then I sit at the bar and order some food because I've been starving all day. I didn't really eat much. And then like this the strange dude just starts this strange dude just starts hitting on me, and I'm I don't go that route, and I'm just like, okay, I don't want to be rude to this guy, I don't, I at this point, he's hitting on me, and I'm like, and I already put in my order with the bartender, and I tell the bartender, look, I got to go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. And then when I get back, I go back to the bar, but I go to the opposite side of the bar. And when I go to the opposite side of the bar, Jason Knight's trainer is sitting next to me, and he was wearing a UFC hat, and we started making small talk, and then he was a really cool guy. And then he's like, oh yeah, Jason Knight's outside on the patio, you're welcome to join us. And then I was like, oh okay. And I said, I'm just waiting for my food, I'll let him know to just bring my food out. So follow him to the patio, and then I hang out with Jason Knight and his family and his trainers and his friends and fellow fighters, and they were all really cool. And again, I want to thank you guys for having dinner with you guys. That was awfully nice of you guys. It's one of those moments where, wow, it's always nice to meet cool, real people like